Hello, my dear children, how are you? I think you all are doing well. You are preparing for your next class and you are spending a good time at your home. So, my dear children, today, as I promised, I have come with an interesting chapter where I have brought that is actually resources and development. It is very much important for a class 10th student to know the meaning of resources. If I am talking about the general meaning of resource, it is very much common word, and I think you might have heard everywhere many often the people say how we can do the work without the resources. Then we have done this work properly because we are having the enough resources. It means you are very much familiar with the term resources. So let's start the chapter resources and its development. As this chapter is very much lengthy and it is described, so many things are described in this the same chapter: resource, the resource development, conservation, resource planning, type of resources, and the different category of resources which are available to us. So it is not possible to make the complete video in that. So what we are going to discuss today, that let me tell you, we are going to discuss about the resources, the meaning, the general meaning of the resource, and then the meaning of the literal meaning of the resources. What are the things important to call a resource, what are the limitations. Then we are going to read in the same read then we are going to study about the classification of resources. I think that will be enough. So let's start. So dear children, according to you, what is the meaning of resource? I think you all are knowing the resources are the thing that satisfy the human needs. It means two things are the things that come, everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our need, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be termed as resource. Now I have read three terms. I think it is important to clear one by one. Sometimes it happens the countries are having enough resources, even then they are not developed. They are not that much rich. What are the things make a thing a resource? That it is technologically accessible. The resource can be called a resource only when it is technologically accessible to you. It means if you are knowing the technique, if you want something to dig out from the earth side, if you want something to take from the rocks, then if you want to purify something, then it is very much natural you need something to get it. The resources can be obtained to you if you are having enough advanced technique to get the thing, to obtain the thing. If you are not having that facility, then you cannot get the resources easily. So this is the meaning of technologically accessible. Economically feasible. Economically feasible means it should be to our reach by our economical status. If a country is having enough resources but they are not having enough money to go with the process to get the resources, then we cannot use the resources. So these two terms, I think it is very clear, and the very important, that is culturally acceptable. This term is very much important. Why it is said that the thing can be called resources only in that condition when it is not harming the society anywhere, when it is accepted by the culture. Means if something is going on in the society and it is not applicable, it is giving the wrong message to the society, it is making something harmful for the society, then surely these things cannot be taken as resource, as the use of nuclear weapons, as the use of uranium. So such things are the source, but in the definition of geography, that it cannot be called the resources. You see so many things surrounding you, like we are having the books, we are having the copies, I am sitting with you. These all are the resources we call it. But here we are not talking about these general resources. Resources, what is, you can see, like the books are there, the pen is there, these all are the man-made things. So we will come to that also. What is the role of the human beings or the manual resources? That is very much important. But if we are using a pen, if we are using a notebook, it is also taken from somewhere. It is taken, like for example, the book is taken from The papers are taken from where? It is taken from the forest resources. So ultimately these are the second hand resources. We are talking about the first hand resource, from where the actually the raw product we get and we make the things to be utilized. We don't take the things directly, but it is somewhere modified and used as a resource. So here we are talking about the resource and also the human resource, because these both go simultaneously, they both go together. Because without the human resource, previously if you will go in very early age, there were so many things but they were not used, because at that time the manual skill was not developed. As the human skill was developed, they made many new techniques, they made the machines, they invest a lot of money, and then the resources only can be used. So here side by side we are going to read about the human resources also. So let's come to the definition of resource. Resource available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our need. This is the first condition. If it is there, if it's satisfying your need, if you are making your life easy, then only the things can be called the resources. Now next point that we are taking, the role of human as a resource and the interaction between the technique, the resources and the human beings. As I told you, the human resource is very much important. It cannot be avoided, because without the efforts of human resource we cannot utilize the thing. So human resource is very much important. For example, as I told you, we are having the copies, we are having the pen, we are having the table. We get it from the different natural resources. These resources like forest, air, water, we take the things, but how it is utilized, it is modified by the human labor, by the human skill, and then only we can avail it, we can use it. So human resource is a very very important resource. Without without the help of human resource, we cannot utilize the things in a proper way. Then we will come to discuss about a very important point also, and comes as a very important question to you, the resource as the backbone of economy. When the two things are compared, it is very much important why the things are compared. So before to see why the resource is called the backbone of economy, it is very much important to know what is the role of backbone in our body. If we are not having the backbone, then what will happen? We cannot even sit, we cannot stand erect. So it gives the support, it gives the strength to the body to stand. The same way, the resources provide the base to the economy of any country, because if the resources are developed, then only the country can be prosperous. So that's why the resources are compared as the base of the economy. It gives earning, it makes the life more prosperous, it makes the country to be developed. So this is actually about the resources. So now we should come to the type of resources. As I told you, everything we don't get from the same place. To avail the things, we have to go to different type of resources, like the water resources, air resources, forest resources, soil resources. Different type resources are giving us help in different ways. So on the basis of different category, the resources types are divided. So one by one we are going to start to know the type of resources. If we are going to describe it, we can divide the resources on four category, on different category. That is on the basis of origin, on the basis of adjustability, on the basis of possession, and on the basis of status and development. So these are the four types of resources. First of all, we are taking the resources on the basis of origin. What do you mean by that? Everything is having an origin. We cannot get the thing suddenly. It is always having a source to get it. So the place from where we are getting it, it is called the origin of the resources. So on the basis of the origin, it is divided in two types, that is biotic resources and abiotic resources. 10th class students already studying science, they are very much accustomed with the meaning of biotic and abiotic. So let's start to study in this geographical term. Biotic resources are the resources that we get from our ecological system. How the ecosystem is made? Ecosystem is made or formed by all living things existing in the universe. So what we take from the living things, those who are breathing, those who are reproducing, the resources which we obtain from such biotic ecosystem is known as biotic resources. So everything that we get from our ecological system that exists in biosphere. What is the meaning of biosphere? Biosphere is where the life becomes possible because of the interaction and because of the suitable condition of mingling of hydrosphere, atmosphere and lithosphere. So when the things we get from the livestock, such resources are called biotic resources, like human beings, flora, fauna, fisheries, livestock. These all are the organism. These all are breathing. These all are reproducing the things. So when we get the things from these resources, such resources are called biotic resources. Then come to the abiotic resources. What do you mean by that? Abiotic resources are the resources which we get in from the non-living form. What we get, like air, water, the rocks, these all are non-living things. So when the resources we get, like we get the minerals from the rock, we get water, we get air, these are the resources that we get from non-living. Such resources are called abiotic resources. The resources which are composed of non-living things are called abiotic resources. Some examples like air, water, rocks, these all are the example of abiotic resources. So the resources which we have read now are on the category of the basis of origin, actually from where we obtain it. Now we are coming to the second type of resource, that based on exhaustibility. What do you mean by exhaustibility? Exhaustible means the things which are going to be finished after a long time use, the things that will not be going to be consistent with us for a long time. On the basis of that, it is categorized in two types, that is renewable resources and non-renewable resources. By the terms, it is very much clear, and I am telling you these all questions are very important, and these on the basis of origin, on the basis of exhaustibility, biotic and abiotic resources, these questions are many often frequently asked questions in the form of difference. Generally the difference between biotic and abiotic resources is always asked in the exams. So it is very important. So the resources on the basis of exhaustibility are divided in renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Now what is the meaning of renewable resources? Means that can be renewed. This is a very simple meaning. The things can be renewed. The things that can be obtained again. That can come to the developed resources. The things we are having in abundance and we can use it for a very long time. The resource which can be used continuously year after year, and even then it is existing with us. For example, air, water, solar energy, plants, these all are the resources from we are benefited from our childhood, and still we find it. Though I have to add one line here, that though the resources are free gift of nature, but it should not be spoiled and it should be sustained. We should try to conserve it. That is the second part, but I have added because this chapter is given to you to make you sensible and aware about the resource planning. So I think this is enough from the chapter resource. In next video I am bringing the resource conservation, resource planning and many more things to you. Till then it is enough, I think. Keep watching me. Thank you.